All right, good morning. It is January 16th, 2026. Yes, and I was tired today. I'm not gonna lie. It was a rough morning. Today we're talking about protecting. It was a rough night. It was a rough night. I got woken up twice by my little girl last night. Once it was too hot. The other time, a doggo was getting sick, and I had to wake myself up to get to handle to dad, right? So today we're talking about protecting your discipline and what that means for you, and um, what does that mean to you? Because today it's not about motivation. It's what you do when motivation isn't there. Um, it's you're tired, you're not lazy, not uncommitted, you're just worn down by repetition, the same tasks, the same follow-ups, the same routine over and over again. And on days like that, when willpower gets noisy and feelings start to negotiate with your goals, or what question do you ask yourself? It's not how do you feel today? It's what protects the discipline when feelings start pulling you off track because your feelings can absolutely pull you off track. Checklists that tell you what's next, right? Because discipline isn't about pushing harder. It's about removing decisions, about systems that carry you when energy is low, checklists that tell you what's next, time blocks that decide for you, structures that keep you moving even when your mind wants to quit. Today is about building those protections so you don't have to fight yourself every morning just to show up. And I'm going to be honest, today I had to fight myself to show up. It was a tough morning, and I didn't show up yet. I'm going to show up. I'm going to get the work done that I was supposed to get done and haven't done yet. And then I'm going to feel good about myself. So, good morning, Miss Fati.
Good morning, Tony.
How are you today?
I am doing great. Had a full night's sleep, no interruptions. It was good.
Wow. Um, that's good for you. That's good for you
Yeah.
because yeah, I had some intro. I was literally just talking about having my sleep interrupted multiple times last night. I had to get up and take care of a doggo
Wow.
um, at a certain point. So anyway, so today is talking about protecting your discipline. Do you think that's
That,
something you're good? Do you think that's something you're good at?
I think I'm pretty great.
Oh yeah,
No
on a scale of one
distractions.
to on a scale of 1 to 10, you're a 10.
I'm an 11.
An 11. Very few people are 11s.
I know.
Um, it's about systems over feelings today, checklists and time blocks, and removing decision fatigue, and that's a real thing. So you really think you're an 11? Because I
That's
won't
it.
I won't even rate myself a 9 on anything personally out of 1 to 10. I always think there's room for improvement.
Yeah, well, not over here. Just a straight up 11.
Okay, interesting. Well, then, why don't you lead the discussion today on why you're an 11?
You know, gotta say, was kind of born with it.
We're
You know,
born with it.
I had a strict schedule from the day I came out my mother's womb. I said 6 o'clock, right on the dot, is when I will be coming into this world, and that is exactly what I did.
Wow.
And ever
Okay.
since
So,
then, it just propelled my future. Sticking to a time, making sure that you never leave room for emotions because emotions will slow you down. So that's how you become disciplined.
okay. Interesting. Good morning, Marcia. Hello. Oh, it looks like it says Marcia is connect. Marcia?
Hi, good
Oh,
morning.
good morning. All right, Fati was talking today. We're talking about um, we are talking today about protecting your discipline, systems over feeling. And Fati says she's very good at protecting discipline. Fati, you want to keep going on that? Fati?
Sure. I was just going in about how I've been disciplined since the day I was born. Um, I told my mom that I was gonna come into this world at 6 a.m. and she said I came in at 5:59 because I was so ready. And so
All
that's my
right.
story.
um. So, so yeah, one of everything we do right is motivation dwindles. Motivation can fade, and you want to be able to have systems in place. It's one of the big things we talk about. So I guess one of the things we're going to start with is because we're talking about systems over feeling, checklists, and removing decision fatigue. Do you ever feel like either one of you suffer from decision fatigue?
I do. I can be very motivated, and sometimes I'm like, not at all. So I'll
Hmm.
have like peaks, extreme peaks. Um, but yeah, I do that. And discipline is where it affects the most.
That affects your, uh-huh. What about you, Fati?
What is decision fatigue? Is it just being tired from making decisions?
Yeah, yep, that's exactly what it is, right? You're worn out from having to do like item decision, and all of a sudden, that's why, for instance, here's the decision fatigue. They actually did a study on parole judges, and the most number of paroles were granted at the beginning of the day when um, the judge was had the most energy. Getting towards the lunch break, they would find that less paroles were granted um, when they're tired and hungry and ready for their lunch break. And then again, after the break from lunch, more paroles were granted again. And then at the end of the day, the least number. So if you're ever in prison, try and make sure that if you're up for parole that you're not getting your hearing right before lunch or right before the end of the day. Little word of advice for you. But that essentially is, yeah. So do you find yourself suffering from that?
Well, based on what you just described, it doesn't it kind of sounds more like people just being exhausted. Because like one thing that you said is like right around lunchtime when they get hungry and tired is when they're like just super tired. So, um, I guess it would be when I'm exhausted and I don't give myself breaks. Because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I like Marcia said, I get in the zone and I'm like super hyper focused, and I have to remind myself that I need to take a 10-minute break right now and come back to it so that I can still have the momentum to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So forgetting to take breaks can cause, I guess, decision fatigue then.
Now, what you okay? There you go. That's perfect. I think that's perfect. Now, for Marcia, for you, you talked about the extreme peaks. Can you identify what caused the peaks or the valleys?
I think I'm going to agree with Fati, where I feel the mental exhaustion, just being
Hmm.
uh, brain drainage.
Hmm.
So that happens with me, and I'm not sure if it's person to person or if it's just based on how much mental capacity one has compared to the other. Um,
Hmm.
and that's something that I don't know, I haven't really found balanced in, and I'm still seeking that too. And I think that also interferes with, again, decision making, staying motivated to, I know I have the potential. I know I have the drive.
Hmm.
However, that uh, lethargic feeling does take in because of, I don't know, again, the brain drainage or just not motivated to do something. I think they all play a part to some extent,
Hmm.
contributing to your overall drive. Um, but I'm still like in the discovery stages or not. Well, I think I have discovered it. I think I haven't really found the next execution state where I can break those chains and then go past it.
Hmm. So, and that's one of the things, like when you talk about the fatigue and even because there are times when you can't take a break, right? There are times you have to keep going. However, when you're running your own business, you absolutely have the opportunity to take breaks when you want and then keep that break going as long as you want. And so one of the big things is are there systems that you could use that will replace your willpower? Because ultimately having a system in place helps you overcome when you're tired. For instance, I can say, like, and I want you to think about, are there systems y'all could use? Because for me, like, I know, like, I'm so used to making calls, I can get on the phone and just make calls. Like, it's what I do now. Like, I mean, I hated making calls at first, and it was a battle to start being able to make calls. I was terrified, pit of my stomach fear, literally uncomfortable in the pit of my stomach when it came to making calls. And I just did it so often. So much that it doesn't affect me now. And I'm just like, yeah, I'll do it. Then last year, when I was getting into, when I was making my channel, I noticed that at the end of the day, when it was time to review the video or do the channel work, I would procrastinate on that and find something else to do because I was tired and exhausted. So if I switch things up and do the video work towards the beginning of the day, even if I'm tired, I can do the calls, and I'm going to make those calls, especially because, again, I see notes and in my notes, hey, John is looking at selling in the next 12 months, and I'm definitely going to connect with John because I talked to him 3 months ago, right? So like that's a good way to help keep me motivated. Are there systems you can put in place to help you overcome decision fatigue and help you overcome those peaks and valleys so that even when you are tired, you're still doing the work?
Definitely. Marcia,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, are you at the Keller Williams office, perimeter?
Marcia?
Oh, are you asking me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I'm at the perimeter location.
Okay, perfect. So one thing that I've been getting in the habit of, and because I kind of do like what you said, Marcia, going into the extremes of being like hyper vigilant and like getting things done, and then you're just like exhausted. Is to have a schedule, and Ben has the schedule set up on the it's all over the production schedule
Like
or
on the
whatever.
billboard, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing that I've noticed that has been really, really helpful for me, in kind of just combating that sense of like hyperactivity and following being disciplined and doing a lot of work, is sticking to that schedule, because it forces me to be like, okay, you did this work, now you have to take this break. And now you got to switch the task and do this. Because like the story of the tortoise and the hare, slow and steady is what won the race, not rushing to the finish line, because you will get exhausted. And I'm sure, are you familiar with the story of the tortoise and the hare?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So the tortoise was going slow and steady, and he still won the race, while the hare was, he ran and he sped up, he took a break, he was making fun of the other dudes and all that. So it just goes to show that when you're slow and steady, there's exponential growth in being able to get the work done. And Tony, what you were describing sounded like a schedule. Like you set yourself a schedule for calls to where you do it automatically and you don't overexhaust yourself. So definitely, I'm thinking, and I've seen improvement with myself, is by sticking to a schedule, even though you feel like if you just get this one more item in, you'll be done for the day and you'll be, it'll be great. But in the
Yeah.
long run, it just slows you down because you're exhausted. You have to take more breaks.
And well, but if you think about like making decisions, just again, we talk about removing the need to make a decision removes fatigue, right? It requires your brain to create less energy. So even if you're doing like for instance, DTD2, which is you're picking 2 letters a week, um, to call, well, you've got your letters picked. Now you have to physically think about, okay, you have to like search through your phone for those 2 letters, right? Whereas if you have the people in your database in your CRM on a smart plan, I just open my computer and look at a checklist. That like it makes it just that much easier for me rather than I don't have to again go through each person on my phone and say, okay, who's got the last letter A in my phone and go through and call them. The smart plan creates a checklist and makes it that much easier. So I'm reducing that fatigue. Um, so Marsha, were you thinking of any systems that could help you reduce that, replace your willpower for you?
I think, I mean, that's one thing I have that struggle with is having a schedule because my mind is all over the place.
Hmm.
So that is something I have to like get myself acclimated towards. I think that will surely will make me more ready and disciplined about taking segments out of the day and dedicating it to just that.
Hmm.
And one more point that Fatih had mentioned was that squeezing in that one more, it's like, okay, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, and that 5 minutes becomes an hour.
Hmm.
And that's where, I'm struggling. And that's where I'm at, you know. Okay, 5 more minutes. I know I need to take a break. I know I need to get up and walk around. I need to do that.
Hmm.
But that's where the willpower kind of is not strong yet.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, I mean, I'm going with you, Tony. Like, give me some ideas, give me some uh more maybe smaller goals or smaller steps to where I can achieve that bigger picture.
Well, I think if
Oh,
you like scheduling it, right? Like
yeah.
starting with small time blocks. Like we talk about 2 hours of lead gen, 2 to 3 hours of lead gen, which is incredibly intimidating for anybody who's getting started in real estate. And so, but if you break it down into 15 and 30-minute segments, like if you're saying just do like one, if it's doing the work and getting a little bit of work done, hey, what's 5 more minutes, right? Let me do 5 more minutes. That's what when I was exhausted working 80 hours a week, I would say, let me just get a little bit of work done. I wouldn't focus on the whole day. I would only focus on the small task at hand. And I do the same thing when I'm working out and I'm tired, and I just like, let me focus on the set. Let me not focus on the big picture, because the big picture can break you down and make you want to quit. So if you focus on the smaller segments at hand, say instead of, okay, this is not 2 hours, it's not 3 hours, this is the next 15 minutes. I have to just make 3 calls, whatever it is, for those next 15 minutes. I would absolutely say making sure people are in your CRM. If you're using Command, great. On smart plans. Smart plans is one of the easiest things you can do to systematize your business. And that's, just that systematic calling every single quarter to my database is what helped me build my, you know, you know, business from not knowing anyone to becoming a top producer.
So
Um,
is smart plan is a feature or system
yeah,
or it's
yeah. So in Command, there are smart plans in Command. Do you coach with Ashley? Do you?
yes.
Okay.
I'm starting
That
out with her. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Just ask her to show you. You say you want to start setting up smart plans in Command. Ask her to start
Okay.
showing you that. Um,
Okay.
that will be a big. You basically here. I'll just show you real fast. To make it easy here. Let me get into Command and I'll share my screen. Um, but it's by having a smart plan. It just basically you say, hey, here we go. Their screen here. So, what the heck? Let's see. Here we go. So in Command here, like on the left side, you have smart plans. Um, and there's all sorts of different, like you can import them, you can search the library. But essentially, like I have like, hey, this is my 90-day follow-up you'll see down here. And it says make a call and make up to 3 calls of the description. And once it's completed, you click done and it just repeats the plan indefinitely. So
Okay.
it's a very easy way to not have to think about what you're doing when it comes to the calls you're making for the day. And then on top of that, it creates follow-ups. Every single person that I don't have a note like, oh, who do I have to call? like I just create the next follow-up call for them. So for me, that's one of the number one ways to, um, you know, to stay on
But
track.
it makes,
And
okay, so it makes a schedule for you. Like I don't have to make my own schedule, kind of
and
like.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it creates a basic outline for every day. You still want to make your schedule, like as far as, hey, you got an appointment, right? That doesn't like you have to schedule those things into your blocking. But at the same time, I'm still creating all my follow-ups, and it's one major system that I built my entire business around. And then again, putting all my follow-ups that need to happen in that as well. Um, so, are there specific decisions that might drain your energy when it comes to your business for either one of you?
I'm just starting, so I'm basing this based on
Okay,
my previous experience, but
I gotcha. Fati, for you, any decisions in particular that drain your energy?
Um, I feel like it's just getting systems down, like
Hmm.
setting up a schedule system and sticking to it. Um, because when you time block and say, this is what I'm going to be doing, this is what I'm going to be doing, you're more focused. Because when you're trying to multitask and trying to do all these other things and your mind is in a million other places, you're less likely to be to get anything done. So I guess getting into my systems and my schedule, like I haven't perfected it 100%. I'm kind of like at 60% right now to stick into the
Hmm.
schedule, but that has taken away from that has like taken a lot of that decision fatigue away because I know at this time these are the tasks that I'm focused on, and at this time I have to force myself and be like, take a break now. So I've been
Hmm.
getting at taking breaks, and remembering that, the vision, in order for the vision to come to fruition, I'm going to have to take breaks right now. And also remembering that Chick-fil-A, they close on Sundays and they still make a lot of money. So rest is important.
It is so disappointing that they close on Sunday. Uh, yeah, no, but I've noticed you've been definitely making the effort to systematize and automatize, and that's incredible. Anything you can automatize, and systematize is, a big deal. Like for instance, one of the things I talk about is, you know, being able to touch as many people in your database, right? Marshall, a touch is like a call, right? That's what you consider a touch, right? Or an email. And so, for instance, if you create, like I have a weekly email that I send out to 500 people, that takes me 30 to 45 minutes to create, but that 45 minutes, I can't call 500 people in 45 minutes, even on a dialer, you know?
Mhm.
So, how can you systematize things so that you can improve, the number of touches so that, again, you're reducing fatigue. Again, those are less personal. I always prefer the voice to voice contact every single time. I will take that because I don't like asking for referrals. I don't ask for referrals a lot. I only ask for referrals when I have a good conversation with someone. But if I reach out to someone and say, hey, can I do anything to help you? They're like, nope. And it sounds like they want to get off the phone. I'm not going into
Mhm.
the, do you know? And again, do what works for you. Like if you know someone well enough, then like, hey, do you happen to know someone that might want to make a change? Great. If you have that relationship, I want to make sure I have that relationship before I ask that, right? So like on a text, it's hard to ask that. And an outbound email, I mean, I can say, at the
No one's
bottom,
gonna look at that. Yeah.
you're right. So, um, but at the same time, it still keeps, again, it's about being, the touches are about being top of mind. You don't want people to forget that you're in real estate. That's the whole point. Um, so So right now you're getting started. Fati, I know you're working at this. So while Fati, you'll talk about this question first, and then Marsha, I want you to think about that. Well, I want you to just think about it and think about what you can do. But Fati, what are you automating or standardizing right now, right, to make your business easier? And then Marsha, you're just getting started. So what can you automate or what can you standardize to make your business easier for you? so you can be more successful in the future. So Fati, you go first.
One thing that has really helped me is making text shortcuts on the phones and also the email templates. If there's something that I know that I'm going to have to be sending out, making it something that is a template to where you can just copy it and paste it. And the shortcuts definitely has been helpful.
There you go. So right, you're making things faster, and I do that for my email, my signature on my text because I don't send it out I don't send it out with every text. But it's like TT for Tony Toich, AB for Associate Broker, KE Keller Williams, right? And I type those out and get it, sent. I was wanted to do it won't let me do a shortcut for like a 3-line text, unfortunately, or 4-line text. So Marcia, what can you do? Again, you're just getting started, but like thinking about what you've heard today, is there something you can automate or standardize to help get you better faster?
I don't know yet. My
Okay,
mind is just
perfect. Yeah. And then I'm gonna
I'm
start
just
with this one.
absorbing everything,
Uh-huh.
and maybe in a week or two, or by end of the month, in a month, I'll be able to grasp what's available
Hmm.
and what I've learned from you and these meetings, um, and kind of like organize myself
Okay.
and then go from there. But right now, I'm just like absorbing. I'm like a sponge right now.
I gotcha. I get it. Well, then I would suggest number one, a follow-up system for your database. Getting everybody in your database that you know in Atlanta, calling them and starting to call them, and then setting up a 3-month follow-up system, right? Once you call someone, you don't need to follow up more than every 3 months, every quarter, right? You don't, one of the big things is you don't want to overdo it, be a pushy salesman,
Yeah.
you know? And I can tell you my first $1 million sale was $1.25 million, which was my first cold call closing. My first call, I did not know this man from anyone and got the sale from a cold call closing. It was about 12 to 14 months after first starting cold calling. But when he sat down with me for me to list his house, he said, I really appreciate the way you follow up, Tony. You don't do it too often. You just check in occasionally. And you've got, I really appreciate the way you did that business, right? So 3 months, going beyond 3 months, they start to forget who you are, especially, or that you even do the work, or that you're just not top of mind. So setting that system up first and a follow-up system, I think, because you want to tell people in your database, if you're just getting started, that, hey, I am in real estate. I can help you, and I can help you. Here's the biggest thing you can do too. It's not just about buying and selling homes. I can help you take care of your homes. I can connect you with a vendor. Let me be of value to you and not just be there to help you. I'm not just here to make a dollar. So before I close this out today, does anybody have any thoughts? Fatih, any thoughts? Marsha, any final thoughts for the day?
Marsha, when did you say you started?
Well, I'm actually hooking up with Ashley today. But um, I had joined the company about like beginning of December,
Mm-hmm.
and but I haven't been into the office because I had an emergency with my mother. So I'm just getting back in just to, start off with Keller Williams systems and understanding how all the programs work and the logins and everything. So I don't know, have we met yet? I was there for a couple of meetings, the Tuesday meetings, if you were there, I'm not sure.
We might have crossed paths. But I was just gonna say one thing that because I feel like we experience things and we pass the baton on by sharing the lessons that we've learned. So my first year, one thing that I should not have done that I did
Okay.
was I overexhausted myself by trying to learn everything
Okay.
instead of putting things into practice. So when you're starting this off, I know you said you just started off, and I know you want to learn all the systems, you want to learn all the contracts, you want to learn everything that there is to learn so that you could be the best agent for your clients. But the best thing that you could do for your clients is just by talking to people. So start by making those connections. Even if you don't know what comes next, go ahead and build those strong connections, because even if you mess up on a contract, like they're more likely to be like, oh, okay, this is just paperwork. Because at the end of the day, who they're talking to and who they want to work with is Marsha and not the contracts. So just keep that in mind,
Okay.
and do not overwhelm yourself with everything that there is, because this whole real estate stuff is like, we take the test and we're bookworms, but we forget, or we're not given the information as to the sense of like, after this is more about talking to people now. Like it's not just the books. Put the books down and go talk to people. That's
Okay.
something that I wish that I definitely heeded to, because now I'm realizing, I'm like, oh, I learned all this, but like, okay, I
You
actually
have to
have
be
to
more
have people
social.
to
Yeah, be more
exactly,
social.
exactly, exactly. So focus on the social aspect and building relationships with people, because again, if you're like, hey, I actually don't know how to do this paperwork, or hey, I accidentally messed up on this, they're more likely to be like, oh, okay, cool beans, I'll just re-sign this. We'll make the correction and just go from there. So
Okay.
your database, 1000%.
Okay, yeah, because I when I looked in command and all these, the emails start popping up in your emails from everywhere, from Scott and enrollments and stuff. I'm like, okay, now I have to learn the program
Yeah.
before I can generate anything for myself, or do I
You
just
know, you just
learn
talk to people,
whatever?
generate everything, talk to people.
Yeah.
That's what's most
Talk
important.
to
Yes,
people.
it's overwhelming. It's super overwhelming for sure. But talking to people and finding the business is number one priority over everything else.
And how the like command can work for me. I guess the main features, like just the first 10 features, just grab the idea how it can
So
Hmm.
be
command.
in general, and then because I know Ashley had mentioned that um will let the program work for you, to make your task easier, or and you're
Hmm.
talking about making templates and stuff, and how it can organize you and make a schedule for you. Um, but I don't know, I don't have a relationship with command yet. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
why I'm not able to speak on it, or I don't know if that
Hmm.
is scaring me a little bit. I'm not sure, because I haven't really put my foot in there fully. I'm
Yeah.
still on the outside. So that
My
Hmm.
that's the only thing. Maybe it's intimidating me. I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
everything that you're feeling is very much normal. Like it's
Okay.
very, very normal, and it's completely fine for you to be exhausted, because you're entering a whole new world. And now you're like trying to filter everything, you're trying to organize stuff, you're trying to systemize, you're trying to do everything all at once. So it's normal for you to feel very, very exhausted. Command is actually not where I created my templates. My templates are actually separate from command. Honestly, command is really helpful for follow-ups. Anthony is a gentleman at the office. He's really good at command. Like he knows the ins and outs, and he'll simplify like the
Okay.
information for how to utilize command. Like he's the go-to pro for that. But yeah, like event, like all the stuff that Tony's mentioning, the emails, the stuff that he does, like Tony is a very well seasoned agent, and sometimes when you're hearing all the things that other people are doing, you're like, okay, I should be doing this too, I should be doing that too. But at the end of the day, what you should be doing is really just talking to people, because at the end of the day, Marsha, you are the business.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah, and then so piggyback on what Fatih said. It's like I layer one new system. Like now, it's like one new big system per year, essentially, right? Like you can't say Tony does all these things, but it took me a long time to, do my, put into place my, nationwide outreach to agents. It took, a long time to layer in my YouTube. It took like, right, all these systems took a long time to develop. You can't develop them all overnight. And the biggest one is to just start talking to people, right? And the more people you talk to now, it's setting yourself up for the future, because this business does snowball. Right, you build more and more business over time. This is a natural function of doing the business. So or just past 9 o'clock. So just here's what I want y'all to remember when today ends. Discipline doesn't fail because you're weak. It fails because you're asking your energy to do the job of a system. When you reduce decisions, you reduce fatigue. You standardize actions, you preserve momentum. And when you protect your routines, you protect your future. So don't ask yourself to feel disciplined tomorrow. Design discipline today. Decide what drains you and remove it. Choose one system that replaces willpower. Automate or standardize one thing so tomorrow is easier than today. Because success isn't built on how fired up you feel. It's built on how well your discipline holds when you're tired. Protect that and everything else compounds.
Okay.
That's all I
Awesome.
got.
Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
We will talk
Thank you,
soon.
Fatih. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
And that is it for February 16th, 2026. Stay motivated.